and bookkeepers, welcome back to my channel today, and we are still diving into job costing and CRMs. I keep getting a lot of questions still about CRMs, so I want to discuss just a little bit further with that today. So just buckle yourself in and we're going to hit this running. All right. What if my roofing client is not using a CRM? So this happens a lot with newer roofing contractors. Maybe they're just in the first year of their roofing business. Maybe they've had their roofing company for years, but they only do maybe 2 to 4 jobs a month. So it's not enough for them to invest in a CRM. And it could be also like my son, he has hired a VA, and so they've created a Google sheet, and so he can easily do the numbers in there, and then it just automatically converts to a proposal for him. So I just spoke to him today about that, so that's incredible. That can be done also. So then we can add everything into QuickBooks, and we have projects in QuickBooks that we can start getting some basic job costing. It's not going to be like the job costing in JobNimbus, AccuLink's Roofer, but it will still give us a lot of good numbers of how much our profits are for us to be able to help roofing contractors or any other type of contractor make better business decisions, how to increase their profits, and how they can use these numbers really to build their business once they understand what these numbers represent and what changes that they can make. And that's where they need your help. You can start with the roofing contractor if they're just using QuickBooks. Start simple. You do need QuickBooks Online Plus for this, so you do need that. Now, when they do have a CRM, they also require QuickBooks Online Plus, so you always need the QuickBooks Online Plus for the integration there. We're going to be using QuickBooks, and like I just spoke about, you can also use a spreadsheet. And even with a CRM, I still keep my own spreadsheet to keep me updated of all the jobs and everything that we're doing. This carries over into QuickBooks, so you can receive the payments correctly in there. The balances on customer jobs are correct. So all of this flows together, and all of it comes also from the bank feed of what deposits we're getting, what expenses are coming through. And last week I did share with you of how to connect the expenses to the jobs and how to use our purchase orders, connecting those to the jobs and receiving materials, so that it automatically goes on your accounts payable. So that is some good automation that you have there in helping you with everything and getting the accounting done, the bookkeeping done. Then also you can use Google Calendar, you can use Calendly. My son, he's been using Calendly, the paid version, and he says that has helped him out a lot. So that's an inexpensive software to use. Then also there's some software, something that actually helps with getting e-signatures. So that is something else that if you're doing the roofer's proposal and things like that, those are some tools that might help you in that as well. You could have a whiteboard. I have a big whiteboard I keep in my office here, and just different things I'm teaching myself and I'm keeping track of. I use my whiteboard for that. So you could be with your whiteboard, you could be keeping track of the jobs that your contractor is doing as well. So there's many things you can do with that. Just the phone, how many calls they have coming in and things like that. But don't get overwhelmed with it all. Just build these systems out one by one, and then start experimenting. When you added expenses in on a job, go to projects and take a look at that. And it won't show in projects as being an expense until it actually gets paid. So if you're going to pay them in 30 days, it won't actually show as an expense in that profit for now. But in profit and projects, I do really like it because we have all the transactions. We can enter the invoices from there. We can enter the expenses from there, and it automatically connects it to the job. And then whenever you finish the job, then you can get a profit and loss report in there, and you can download it to an Excel spreadsheet or a Google spreadsheet, whichever one you want to do. It does give us a lot of good information. And so now we can let the client know, okay, go over to projects, to job 1, 2, 3, 4, and you'll see how much you actually made on that job. It doesn't consider in there, though, any overhead expenses. That's just our gross profit. And if you recall, our gross profit is just the revenue that we have coming in from our sales, money we've received in our bank account, and then minus our cost of goods like materials and permits and labor and anything else that goes in that, credit card fees to receive the payments from the customers. So all of that is in there. The overhead, like from your 6,000 accounts, if you're using my chart of accounts from 6,000 to 9,000, it does not include those overhead expenses. But what you can do is whatever your total 6,000 to 9,000 accounts are, you can divide that number by 4 weeks, and that'll give you your overhead per week. Or you can divide that between 30 days, and that gives you your overhead per day. And if you're doing one job a day, then it's easy to say, okay, these are the cost of goods, and then my overhead is $500. So I'm going to make XYZ on this job. So those are some things that these numbers help us with, and help the client and us explain to them now what their profit on that job actually were. But even if you don't have the CRM, use QuickBooks Projects. You will need to turn that on in your account settings. So be sure and turn that on in your account settings as well. But it is very helpful for you. But I do want to invite you for more training and more help in your roofing and bookkeeping business to come over to Roofers Bookkeepers Connection. It is absolutely free, and in the description of this video, it will be in the first line there. And if you do have any other questions in descriptions, it has my website where you can contact me if you would like to jump on a call as well. You need help with something, or you need help in knowing as a bookkeeper what your next step is, or if a roofing company, what your next step is. If you just know your books are a mess as a roofer, then give me a call and we will get you set up and see what your next steps are and what needs to be done. Thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you next time. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.